All right, empowered leaders, welcome to our Monday night call on connecting and reconnecting. We have already gone over announcements and everything, so we're just going to get right to it. But grab a pen and paper because we are going to go through the basics of connecting, give you some tips, and tell you some stories that are really going to help you understand how to think outside the box when you're connecting. Because so many times we hear, and I know Cindy's been hearing it for 10 years, I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't know how to meet people. How do you talk to people on social media? This, that, and the other. We're going to go over all of that stuff and just give you these little tips and tricks. So you definitely want to have a pen and paper, and then we'll have some time at the end for questions. Okay, so the first thing, let me just mute everybody real quick before we get started. And then you guys can unmute yourself. So Cindy, when I pull you in, go ahead and make sure to unmute yourself. All right. So one of the things that I've been hearing a lot lately is about just feeling stagnant and really overanalyzing the connecting piece. And so what I will say to you is that if you're not connecting with people, or you feel like you're hitting a wall and it's just not something you're doing, or you're in your head too much about it, you're overcomplicating it. Connecting is so simple. It's a basic human characteristic. We do it all the time. In fact, when I was looking at this, I thought, I'm gonna look up the definition. I'm just curious, because have you ever looked at the definition of a word and realized that as a society we kind of are misusing it? I've noticed that about words before. And so I looked up connecting because I was just super curious. And you guys, it's so basic. Connecting is to bring together or into contact so that a real or notional link is established. Okay, so you're bringing something together, you're in contact so that a real connection is made, a real link. Okay, so think about that with the people in your life. Another definition is to join together so as to provide access and communication. And then the last one is linked to a power or water supply. Still relevant and still amazing. But think about that. You guys, when you're connecting, you're creating a tangible link, and that could be tangible emotionally, physically, spiritually. You're creating a link between two things. That is a connection. And then once you develop that connection, you're able to network, which a network is a lot of connections, connecting over and over and over and over again. So if you're going to build a strong, tangible network, you have to master this skill of connecting. And I promise you can. Even if you don't think you're good at connecting, because I've talked to a few of you, I'm going to not make eye contact, but I've talked to a few of you who just think you're not someone who can connect. I'm not Cindy Hedges. I can't just talk to anybody about anything. Yes, you can actually, but it's in your head. The reason that you don't think you can is because in your head you're telling yourself that they're going to judge you, that you're going to fail, you're going to say the wrong thing. You're telling yourself a story. And that story is not true if it's keeping you from connecting with another human, because that's what we're put on this earth to do. So imagine that you have isogenics in your hand. Okay, so for those of you who are visual, go ahead and just put isogenics in your hand right now. Why do you have isogenics in your hand? Why are you connected to it? Because at some point you have felt that isogenics cares about you, that it can provide a solution for you, that it is providing an experience for you and your family. You build this trust. Isogenics has done the do to make us like a company built on integrity, on character, on honesty, on quality. And because of that, you trust Isogenics, and you have a relationship and you're connected to Isogenics. The same thing that you have with Isogenics is what you get to build with other people. Okay, so you have other people over here and you're taking this in and you're touching, you're connecting with people all throughout your day. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But what's neat about that is when you build a connection with another person. So I'll use Lori as an example. So I built an amazing relationship with Lori. I love Lori. And if Lori maybe Lori's not the best example because I did not introduce Lori to Isogenics, although I would have, because she's amazing. So let's say I don't know Lori, but I just met Lori at the coffee shop at Life Center at our church. And I'm like, Lori, you're amazing and dynamic. Let's grab coffee outside of church sometime. I want to get to know you better. And I'm building this connection with her. Do you see how I already have this amazing connection over here with Isogenics? And as soon as Lori starts sharing things with me and I see how this can happen, it's going to happen so organically because I took the time to connect with her, not as an Isogenics robot, but as a human. And I think that in the beginning, I was the same way. All I did for 27 years before I started building, or 29 years before I started building this, was connect with people. I have a degree in people. I've worked on college campuses all over the country, connecting with people, helping other people connect with people. But when I started this industry, I was like an isogenics robot. It was embarrassing. I look back and I'm like, ugh, gross. But we've all been there. Even Cindy in the beginning, I'm sure she was just awful. Like, well, she's not awful, but you know, like at certain of these skills, she just was like all over the place excited, because that's what we do. We're excited about something. But if you look at it, they're separate right now, right? You have your isogenics that's connected to you only. This person doesn't know yet how great it is, but they're not going to know how great it is until they know how great you are. Okay? And how are they going to know that you're great? Not by you talking. You are listening, you're asking questions, you're connecting with this person. Okay, so I just want you to have that visual as we go into this call. Okay, now we talked about that. Okay, so being able to join the hands. When people like you and trust you, they will naturally want to be a part of your life and be a part of whatever you're doing. Okay, that's why this is so important, to build this connection. And we're going to get into social media in a minute, but I love how I've seen this come to fruition on social media, because people already feel like they have a connection to me and I haven't talked to them in years. And I reach out and they're already engaged. It's like we just engage in a conversation and we picked up where we left off because of that connection that I've been building. Okay. So we're going to talk about connecting online versus in person. So when you're organizing your notes, just think about that. We're going to start with online. And some of this, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because we just did calls on branding and the 2-week turnaround, so you can go back and reference those. But I'm going to talk about a few other things. So when you're connecting online, branding and the 2-week turnaround is so vital. Even if you are able to do the 2-week turnaround like verbatim, you know, you don't get your 5 posts in a day, whatever that is. We're going to talk about consistency in a minute, but presence, having a consistent presence on social media, and that you are branding the way that you would want someone to know you. So think about that. Every single time that you post on Facebook, I said it last week, you're building a relationship. If you post something on Facebook, but you wouldn't say that to someone's face, like if it's really egregious and political, or you're, cussing, or, whatever that is. But if you're putting something out there on social media, imagine that say it out loud before you post it. And imagine there's someone that you really respect and admire that you would love to have on your team. Imagine you're saying it out loud to them. How does it sound? But when you just put it out there, if you're hiding behind your computer, it just feels so different, okay? And we really miss out. So think about that, branding and the 2-week turnaround. 2-week turnaround is a vehicle to brand yourself and really put yourself out there, but branding in general is super important. You can check out last week's team call for more information on that. Okay, so why do we connect online? Why is that important? There's so much value in being able to show up before you show up. I just talked about this when I did the 20 and 30 back in September. I had already been really active on social media for a couple of years. But when I did that and I would reach out to people, I mean, overwhelmingly, people who said yes or no were like, oh my gosh, I've been following you on Facebook. I love your posts. I love what you stand for. You're so real. You're so this, you're so that. I think I had one person be mean to me, but that was like a totally different situation. I posted about that in the 20 and 30 group, actually. Laughable, like totally ridiculous. But 99.999% of people were so thrilled to hear from me. And I was going through this and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? This is way easier than I thought it would be. But it's because of the feedback I was getting from them that they were following me on social media. That they just felt like they already knew what I stood for. So I could reach out and just touch them and focus on them. And I didn't feel like I had to talk a whole bunch to really get my point across, because I'd already been doing it for months and months and months. So that is why social media is so valuable, because you're connecting every time you post. And you cannot leverage your time better than that. Okay? But we are going to talk about connecting in person and why that's just as important. Okay, so you got to let them see what you're all about, so that they already feel connected to you. But then when you connect with them, this is super important, you guys, make it about them. We talked about this verbiage. So when you reach out to somebody on a Facebook message or you comment on someone's post, always serve them. Oh my gosh, I love that you stand for this. It's amazing. Find something about them that you really enjoy. Maybe they post a lot of funny memes. Ross Thompson, I don't know what it is about that guy. He's hilarious. He finds like the best stuff to post on social media, and he's so funny. He's already an isogenics, but I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, you are hilarious. But find something about that person you like, respect, admire, or even a question that you would have for them. Because someone posts something on Facebook, it's like we feel that we're not allowed to just message them and ask them about it. They put it out there for the whole world to see. You can absolutely message them and ask them more about it, whether it's a big promotion or if someone's being super ambiguous and vague on Facebook, which is, I'll be honest, it's a little annoying, but they're like, oh, I wish, I can't even, it's ridiculous. But if someone's being like super vague on Facebook and you're concerned, reach out and just say, hey, I saw your post. It sounds like maybe you don't want to talk about it, but if you do, just know that I would love to hear what's going on with you. That goes so far with people, okay? And then consistency. Oh, you guys, this is huge. Every time I go to a training or Super Saturday or podcast, this has to be the word that's spoken the most out of all the other normal words that when you talk about isogenics. But consistency is huge. So if this is a struggle for you. And can I just get some, can people just like throw hands up if this is them? Who else struggles with consistency in any area of their life? Okay. What you have to think about when you wake up every day, or maybe when you go to bed, this is when I do it. When I am doing my freedom journal at night, I think about what I have recruited me today. Based on how I live my life today, what I have reached out and said, hey, Rachel, you're a big deal. Let's make $1 million together. Because if the answer is no, you have to self-evaluate. Okay, so would you recruit you today? Now, if you're somebody who just dips your toe in with social media or anything, but I'm going to talk about social media specifically. If you just dip your toe in and you're really active and consistent for a few days, and then all of a sudden you just disappear, or if you're super consistent and you're posting educational stuff and motivational and inspirational and stuff about residual income, stuff about health and all of these things, and then all of a sudden you just post 20 days straight about your dog. You guys, this is tough love moment. You have to be consistent. Now, if you are just in a place in life where literally you just posting on Facebook takes every last bit of energy out of you, that is okay. Give yourself grace. However, get yourself out of that as soon as possible, because social media is an amazing way to leverage everything that we're doing here. Cindy's going to talk about this in a second, how different it was for her when she was building and how now she's having to learn a completely new skill set, because if you want to be dynamic and successful in network marketing, you have to be able to leverage social media. You just have to, because that's where everybody is. It's like walking into a room with a bunch of people who like to just share their opinions and talk and post pictures of their babies, and you just stand there and look at them like, oh, that's nice that they're all interacting and learning about each other. I'm just going to stand over here and watch. No. I will say no 500 more times if I have to. People will know if your belief is low. Dr. Delray Messer said this on a call this week in the Rock and Roll to Executive group. Loved her Encore Live. If you have not watched it yet in that group, definitely go watch it. But she was talking about this, and she said people will know if your belief is low based on how you're acting on social media. Maybe you're inconsistent with your health goals. Okay, that's another thing that you need to be really real with yourself. Are you consistent with taking care of yourself? And that goes for physical, emotional, spiritual, all of that. You are putting out there into the world exactly what's going on the inside. You have to work on you. Okay, I know we're getting way deeper than connecting here, but this is all related. All of it's related. Okay, so consistency is so important, especially when you're on social media, because people are watching. Okay. All right, so a little bit of a pro tip for you for connecting on social media. Create categories. So let me back up. When you're reaching out to a bunch of people, you're like, okay, I'm going to do a blitz for an hour today. I'm just going to connect with as many people as possible. Create categories and verbiage templates that go with that. And we have a great verbiage share sheet in Empowered to Lead. But when I talk about categories, I mean things like, do you know a lot of moms? Do you know a lot of young moms? Do you know a lot of empty nesters? Do you know a lot of people who work out, who are training for, a sport or a competition or whatever that looks like? Do you know a lot of teachers? Do you know a lot of doctors? Who are those? What are those big thriving categories in your life? And write those down, and then think, how would I share isogenics with a teacher? How would I share isogenics with a mom? And then write it out. It should not be more than 4 or 5 sentences max, but this is initial connection, you guys. Because one of the things I hear a lot is, it takes me 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour to reach out to 2 or 3 people. No, you guys, you have to leverage your time better than that. So do the work up front so that when it's time to connect and you have that time to connect, especially if you have young children at home, my goodness, this has saved my life. When they're asleep, I'm working on things that I can't do while they're awake. Okay, that is just the way you have to do it. And if you've ever had young children, you totally understand this. But one of the things that I will do is I will say, okay, I have not reached out to my teacher friends in a while. So I'll teachers, young moms, whatever. And then I have verbiage templates that I'm like, okay, if I was reaching out to a teacher this time of year, I know for a fact teachers are hitting a wall. Cherie's on this call right now. Cherie, I know you're not on video. I know you're muted, but right now she's giving me a preach hallelujah because Cherie is a teacher and it's the end of May. Holy garbage. Like, it's crazy town, okay? So think about that. Like, this is a great time to reach out to teachers. They're just about to go on summer vacation. They cannot wait, but they're so tired. They're checked out because there's so much going on. They probably are working harder than they ever have all year because they have to grade papers. They have to do this, that, and the other. Cherie, yep, preach, okay? So amazing. And I would love, Cherie, will you share an Empower to Lead after this call? What would be a fantastic way for people to reach out to teachers this time of year? Because I'm thinking energy, I'm thinking convenient nutrition, because I mean, even on a slow day, they don't get lunch breaks, let's be real. But just think about that. Who in your life is a teacher? And they don't even have to be posting about it on social media for you to know that they are struggling. Okay, you be proactive, you reach out and you just say, I thought of you. I know it's so crazy right now this time of year with teachers. And I know I have teachers on my team. I say this, you guys, because this is true. I have teachers on my team who love how convenient this nutrition has been for them to help them with more energy, to be able to sneak in a high quality lunch in like 5 seconds, because I know that's all you guys get for lunch break. Make it light and fun and just say, I don't know if this is for you or not, but if you're interested in blank, blank, or blank, and list things that they're struggling with, Cherie can help out. Yeah, e-shots galore. Then, and even if they're like, oh yeah, that might sound interesting, say, how about can I put a little care package together for you? If they're local, how about your kids' teachers? You owe them, okay? Like your kids' teachers, put some e-shots in there, find out if they're vegan or dairy free, ask the questions. Like, I would love to put something together for you because I have teacher friends who swear by this and I have it in my life and I don't know what it's like to be you, but I would love to bless you. I don't know a single teacher that's not going to just be like sobbing and just excited. Okay, so reach out to your teachers. Same with moms. Moms, their kids are about to come home on summer break and they're like equal parts excited, equal parts terrified. Okay, reach out, bless them. There's always a reason to share isagenix with people. Okay, that was a really long pro tip, but a really good one. All right, so connecting in person. If you are hiding behind your computer screen, I'm just making eyes because you know who you are. I don't know who you are, but you know who you are. If you're hiding behind your computer screen, you will not grow in this business. And even if you grow for a little bit, you will become stagnant. We see it happen all the time. Okay, people hide behind their computer screen and maybe they have a little bit of growth because they're doing really well on social media. But you guys, people need to feel your warmth. Okay, they need to hear your voice. They need to see your face. Even if you live far away, we have so many people. My amazing friend, Maddie, I don't know if he's on the call right now, but he lives in Phoenix. We text, voice text, Zoom all the time. He needs to feel me, okay? So that's really important for in person. Now, I don't mean belly to belly all the time, or like abs to abs, like we like to say, but being able for them to like voice texting. I just introduced another girl who's not in our company. She's with another company, but she wants to start isagenix. And I was voice texting her and she's like, how do you do that? Like, what? And she's a mom of 3 kids under the age of 3. She has twin boys. I'm like, girl, I'm about to make your life so much easier. It's so effective for people. So any way that you can use the senses, Tanya Kirkpatrick talks about this and I love it. Any way that they can see your face, hear your voice, if you can send them samples and they can taste it. If you're out with somebody, hand them an Isodelight and just say, just eat this. Like shove it in their face. You got to eat this. Hand them an e-shot. Like let them taste it and be excited with them. Okay, so that's the benefit of the in-person. And again, in-person is, video chat. Like right now, this is in person, you guys. We're in person as much as we can be. Okay, We all crave human interaction. You guys, you have to understand that. If you ever feel nervous or afraid to speak to somebody because you're like, oh, I don't know what they're going to think of me, they're probably going to think, okay, even if people act weird around you, this is what I've noticed. People are like, oh, but they're going to think it's weird if I talk to them. Well, yeah, because no one talks to anybody. Of course they're going to think it's weird. I'm sure people think Cindy's weird because she's just like walks up to you and like loves you so much without you even opening your mouth. And people are probably like, whoa. And then 5 seconds later, they're like crying and hugging and they're like besties. But people may think it's weird. She's laughing because she knows it's true. People may think you're weird, but that's okay. Okay, we need to show people what they really need, and what they really need is connection. And that's what we do. That's the basis of what we do. It's amazing. Okay? So my notes in here are funny. I wrote a lot of like, we suck at it and things like that. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we connect with people in person? So I gave you a few examples of things like Zoom or the voice text or things like that. I like the Facebook videos on the Messenger. I did a bunch of those for birthdays this week, and people love it. Even people who I've talked to about isogenics and followed up with like 8 times and never respond, I send them a birthday video and they always respond. I'm like, okay, I know you're watching. Anyways, totally worth it. So when you're out and about, compliment people, ask people questions. Today in the gym locker room, I meet so many friends in the gym locker room. In fact, the gym locker room is how I met a friend who is how I met Jacqueline and is how I met Shayna. So always talk to people in the gym locker room. Totally pays off. But I talked to this woman. She was wearing a shirt that says, I walk for refugees. And that's all it said. I'm like, okay, cool. I wanted to know more. Instead of just looking at her shirt and walking right by her, I started to walk by her. And then I thought, no, because I have a goal of connecting with 3 people every day. And I was like, nope, I need 1. So I turned around and I said, hey, could I ask you about your shirt? And she's like, and she had to look at her shirt because she forgot what she was wearing. She's like, oh my gosh, yes. And she showed me a video on her phone. She was so ecstatic. I could have just walked right by this woman, and now I know so much about her. Okay, super important. Another example, today I was at Target because, it's Monday and that's what you do on Mondays. Went to Target after the gym, and I was checking out in line, and I almost didn't turn into this aisle either. So it was the one where it's like checkouts and returns and all that. And I started to walk past, and I looked over, and this mom, very pregnant mom with 2 young boys in the cart, one just dumped her coffee all over the floor. And all the coffee drinkers are like, no. Dumped her coffee all over the floor, and she just looked like this. And I'm like, oh, mama. So I pulled in right behind her, just because I didn't want if anyone else came behind her and was irritated because, people are grumpy. I went and got her a clean cart. I'm helping her put her kids in the new cart and all that. And I just felt like I need to bless this woman because, let's be real, she's, very pregnant, probably very hot, looks very disheveled. So I had like $4 in my wallet randomly. I never have $4 in my wallet. And I'm like, that's probably how much that coffee was. And I gave it to her. I was like, will you please do me a favor? Will you let me buy you a coffee? She started crying. You guys, I cannot stress this enough. People are yearning. They're dying inside for human connection. And she's like, it's not the coffee, I promise. I'm like, girl, we are moms. We do not cry over coffee. We cry over all the things leading up to the spilled coffee. I get that. But you guys have to look for those opportunities to bless people. And when you're open to it, God will put those people in your life. Okay? I could have not looked to the right. I could have just kept going to a different aisle because there were empty ones or a different checkout. But you have to be on the lookout for connecting. I did not get this woman's contact information. It was not appropriate. I did not talk to her about isogenics, but I gave her $4. And it probably changed her day. You have to be open to those opportunities. And that's not a toot my own horn. That's like, hey, God, thanks for the intervention because that woman needed it. And we are professional interveners, okay? Connect with people. They need it more than they think they do, I promise. We're getting way deeper than I thought we would on this call. I hope you guys are loving it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to move on. So one thing that I want to leave you with before I bring Cindy on is if any of this makes you uncomfortable, like really be honest with yourself. When you're thinking about connecting, it feels maybe easy when we're on this call and you're seeing all these people who love you and who already love isogenics, who understand you, and it's easy. But if any thought of connecting with people on social media or connecting with people in person, if any of that makes you uncomfortable, Good. Because nobody becomes a six-figure income earner by living in their comfort zone. Right, Cindy? Can I get a nod? Yes. Okay. I've watched this woman grow and grow and grow and expand and expand. Myself, in the last 8 months, my gosh, I'm a completely different person. I watched some of my early videos that I would post in these groups from like a year ago, and I'm like, oh, ugh, I'm surprised you guys watched those. But I'm just so excited because every time you feel a little bit of like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like right now I'm feeling that with running to executive. I'll be very honest with you guys. I'm feeling a little bit like I can feel myself putting the brakes on. And as soon as I feel that, mentally I'm like, nope, running harder. And that's what you have to do. You have to just feel the fear, acknowledge the fear, and go anyway. Okay, that's character. That's how you're going to build this. Okay, and this is not just about isogenics, you guys. This is like a little life tip. If you are constantly living in your comfort zone and you're constantly in a place, even if it doesn't feel comfortable in there, it's just what you know, and you know how to operate in chaos, or you know how to operate being broke, or you know how to operate being overweight or unhealthy. Just because you know how to operate in those areas does not mean that's where you need to stay. Okay? So that's a little bonus tip for you. Okay, so I want to bring Cindy in to share some things, because we had this really great conversation earlier, and I just was very honest with her, like, can you please just shed some wisdom on us? Because Cindy connecting today has to look very different than Cindy connecting 10 years ago. And what I asked her to share with you guys is, what was that like? Like, what was it like when all you had was belly to belly, when all you had was meeting people in person? Because one of the things that she and I hear a lot is, I don't know how to connect to people, or I don't know where to find people, or I'm too busy to connect with people, or I have such a routine. I go to work and I do this and I do that, and then soccer games and, you know, the gym and blah, blah, blah. It's like, how do you find those connections and how do you make them valuable? And so Cindy has been doing this for, I wish I could count how many days are in 10 years. A lot of days, you guys. A long time. So Cindy, will you please share, just tell some of your stories and share some of your tips with us?
For sure. And Michael, I would love it if you unmute your line too, honey, so you can share as well. But Rachel, first of all, I just want to say that was amazing. That was fantastic information. You're an incredible leader on this team. I am just loving every minute that I get to just see you growing and really using all your talents and gifts and all your strengths to be such a blessing for so many people. So thank you so much. Seriously. Okay. What did you do? Somebody blacked out the screen. Oh, Michael, are you talking?
No, I unmuted. You
Okay,
told me.
right. Okay, no, I want you to. Okay, so we're going to jump in, and just guys, I'm telling you, oh my goodness, this is a total different game today. Different than when we started 10 years ago. And, you know, so many things have changed. It's so much, I mean, just the opportunity happens so much faster for people today. But I am an in-person person. I really am. I'm a connection person. I'm kind of an in-the-moment person with people. I'm not very planned, very scheduled. That's not my nature. I can do it when I need to. But I really, I do like to just be in the moment with people. And so when we got started with Isogenics, you know, there was, I mean, I needed to go get a job and make money. That was what I needed, like yesterday. We were buried in debt, and Michael was giving me a window of time to see if this could be something that would work. And we didn't have the rank advancement bonuses. We didn't have the double PIBs. We had a 9-day cleanse with a $10 product introductory bonus. And within about 3 months, paying out. Within about 3 months of getting started, they created the 30-day system with a $25 bonus. So I was very limited on time. Every day, I had 7 kids at home when we first started, and I was teaching 8 to 12 classes at the club. At the club, where I had to sign an affidavit saying that I would not talk about Isogenics in my classes. I would not share Isogenics in the club when I was working for, at then it was Oz Fitness, or 24-hour. So most people would think, oh, well, you're a fitness instructor. It must have been so easy for you. All of your people just did it. It was not like that. I really had to be very intentional, just like Rachel's saying. But I literally built this business in the beginning in the pockets of my life. It was just doing life when I was out and about. And in truth, guys, I mean, I love the Lord. Everything that I do, I don't have a story in my life that isn't, wrapped up in Jesus, because he is my life. And so I respect that not everybody's maybe in that place, and I totally get that. But I really, every day, I would just pray, Lord, you know who the people are in my world that need better health and wellness. You know who they are and who needs the same thing that I needed. And I just pray that you would give me eyes to see them, give me ears to hear their heart and hear them share. And I would literally just go out, and I'd be at Costco grocery shopping, and I would run into like Claire Patton. And I hadn't seen Claire in like 4 years. And she was like, Cindy, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. You look amazing. What are you doing? And that for me was really my leverage. I was a product of the product. I mean, I put these products in my body. I did that first 2 weeks like boot camp, and it made a difference in me, and people could see it on me. And I literally had a little DVD that I had in my purse, and Linda, you could still use this if you wanted to do this with people, or a brochure or something like that that you could hand people. But I would be like, oh my gosh, Claire, I'm doing something that I'm super excited about. I feel amazing. It's this incredible lifestyle nutritional system that I've started. I've only been doing it for a few months, but it's totally changing my life. And she was like, well, what's it about? And I'm like, I really can't go into it right now because I'm on my way literally to pick Tosh up from piano or whatever. But here, let me see if I have something in my purse. And I'd like dig in my purse, and I'd pull out a little DVD, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've got my DVD with me. This is the Why of Nutritional Cleansing. It'll tell you all about it. It's amazing. See what you think. If you're interested, I would love to help you. I know you will love it. And that's how I did it. And so how that translates now with me is I use Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Claire, can you watch a video on your phone? Yeah, I totally can. Great. Here, let me get your information, and I will send you a video, and I'd love to follow up with you, and then I'll close for an appointment. But when I first started, I literally handed people a DVD and did it that way. But this is what I want to tell you. I do a lot of what I do, and my success, I know, first of all, is because God just determined that we would be successful. He's so faithful. And I was faithful to take the opportunities that he gave me. And every single day, just like Rachel just said, we are operating either in a place of faith or a place of fear. Every single day, you're going to be in situations where you're either going to have to rise to the occasion and believe in yourself, just like she said, that here we've got this amazing gift in isogenics, this life-changing gift that can do so many things for so many people on so many levels. You've got something incredible to give. And you can either operate in a place of faith where you are rock solid in your belief because of what it's done in your body and all the stories and all the thousands of people's lives that it has changed. Or you can shrink back with a heart of fear and stay in what you think is your safety zone and not share that gift with people. And that's how I thought of it every single day. I thought, I have a gift. It's changed my life. I would never want to live without these products in my body, and I want to share them. And I would say, Susie, I feel a little awkward. I don't know if this would be anything for you or not, but this is something that's changing my life. I love it. And if I didn't share it with you, I would feel horrible knowing that you've just told me you're so tired and you're really struggling with your weight and you want your happy back. You just don't feel good. I've got something that could help you, and I would love to sit down and just share it with you. And I would do it like that. I would just step out every time. Like Rachel said, she'd be like, a little this, no, boom. I'd step through it because I knew on the other side there'd be blessing. The other thing I want to say is I connect all the time in life, and God would bring these people that I hadn't seen in years, and I wasn't going to just charge right into an immediate isogenics conversation unless it would come up. I'd be connecting. I remember this one gal I connected. I saw her at a grocery store, and it was like weird. We hadn't seen each other for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you were still in town, blah, blah, blah. We chat for just a quick minute, and I was on my way, and I didn't get her information. Then I saw her again like the next week, and then the third time I'd see her again. So that was kind of like a joke with me and God, but I was like, okay, third time's a charm. And then it was weird for her too. She's like, okay, this is weird. Like, I haven't seen you in 4 years, and I've just run into you 3 times in the last 2 weeks. What's going on? Or I would say that. I'd say that for sure. like, okay, I'm doing something amazing. I think I need to share it with you. You know, when can you get together? And I would just do that. Don't make your connection or your introduction the presentation. You don't need to go into all of it. You just need to know a few things that are going to create curiosity, get them excited, and then get them to get together with them. So I'm going to come back. I've got a few other things, but Michael, my Michael now is becoming an incredible just doing life connector, just out. And he's taking a different approach where I've always kind of led with product. He's a little bit more about the opportunity. And I love that. And guys, in truth, as I look through our team and the years we've been doing it, everybody is going to benefit from the product, period. You can have confidence in that. But the thing that's really going to keep people in the game is creating some income. Because today, that's what people need more than anything. They need the health, and they need that financial pressure taken off of their family. And so, Michael, why don't you share really quick what you're doing?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rachel's smiling. Finally got him on here.
Okay, but it's 7:20, so we only want to be until 7:30, and I have something else to share. So.
Oh, gosh. All right. So she asked me to kind of share about what I do to connect. And at first I'm like, honey, I don't, it's just like pure instinct now. But what it really is muscle memory. It's like anything. You can learn the skills of connecting just like you can learn anything else in business. And I've been doing it for so long. I mean, when you work in medical sales, you go into a hospital, you don't know anybody. You know 0 people. You have to look, you have to be able to connect to people. So I've gotten very good at it over the years. A big thing that freed me up was going through a lot of David Wood's programs, because that kind of freed me up from being up in my head and being more in my heart. So at first she was like, when she said that, I'm like, I just do it by, instinct, but I don't. There's certain things that you guys can do. And I just kind of wrote down some notes really quick. So hopefully this will help you. The first thing that you need to do is you need to look good. And I don't mean that you need to be good looking or that you need to actually physically look good, but I mean that you need to be approachable. And so wherever I go, if I'm at the gym and I just want to work out, nobody ever talks to me because I have got that look like, don't talk to me. But when I'm out most of the time, when I'm talking, I'm always, giving eye contact, and I'm always, I'm approachable. So I might not, I may be in my workout clothes and not look, super great, but I look like somebody that somebody would want to approach and talk to. So look good, and hold on. And the other thing that I always would do with my doctors, if I was sitting in their office or I'm in, ICU or the telemetry unit, I would look around and I look at the photos on people's desks. I would look for a point of connection always. So everybody's got stuff like what Rachel was talking about, just like the woman with the shirt. That's a point of connection. And if you're in your own little world and just kind of doing your own little thing, you'll never see those little cues, those little things that people got going on. Maybe they have 2 little kids with them. Maybe they're crying. It doesn't matter. I mean, somebody somewhere has something that you have in common. And so I'm always looking for that. I'm always asking questions, and I'm not afraid to. And so, I'm doing this all the time, all day long. So looking for a point of connection. And then usually I ask, what do you do? And there's a reason why I ask, what do you do? And that's because they'll tell me they're interested in talking about themselves. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, really? How many kids do you have? Whatever. Or, I'm an engineer. Really? Who do you work for? How long have you been doing that? Where did you go to undergrad? All those things I'm looking for, what they did, because inevitably they're going to ask, what do you do? Every single time, 100%. If you ask somebody what they do, they're going to ask you, well, what do you do? And then I get to tell them what I do. And that's when you have your 30-second story, just like boom, boom, boom. I'm doing this, but what I'm really excited about is I'm creating, financial freedom with my family through this nutritional company. I love nutrition and working out. Really? Well, what's it all about? Then the other thing that I always do, and this is me, I always connect on Facebook. I said, you have your phone with you. I just did this. Like, I probably have done this 4 times in the last week, where I'm like, are you on Facebook? Here's, okay, good. Friend requests me. Okay, well, accept my friend. Great. I'm going to send you some videos. It'll show you what I'm doing. It's really exciting. But I don't spend a lot of time with it. So some of these things, point of connection, like what Cindy does, she'll see somebody that she's known for a long time, and that's different than a cold market, somebody you just met, you don't know who they are, and you don't know whether you're going to see them again. If they're at the gym and I see them off and on, or I'm at Starbucks and I see the same people over and over again, it's different than if I see someone that I don't know if I'm ever going to see them again. And like Cindy said, we are on search and rescue. What we have, people need. They maybe don't know it yet, but they do need it. And so I have no fear, no feeling bad about telling them about something that could change their life. I really don't. Whether it's sharing, my faith or sharing Isagenix, the worst they can say is, "I'm not interested. Please don't talk to me about that ever again." Okay, great. But usually that does not happen. So hopefully that helps a little bit. That's kind of what I do.
No, I love it, honey. I do. I think that it's one thing that, like at UIA, the guys went through and they asked me to speak on the connecting piece, and it's so different now, but it's like what Michael's saying. It's kind of instinctive for us, but guys, to like teach it or to learn for yourselves, or if you feel uncomfortable, it's the acronym for FORM. And actually, there's another F in front of it, like Kyle said, and I agree. Like if you're traveling or you're having a conversation in a plane, or you're meeting somebody that's like what Michael would say, a cold market, somebody you've never met before, it's so easy to just ask them, like, where are they from? And talk about their family. So form is family, occupation, what do you do? That kind of a thing. Recreation, what do you love to do for fun? What do you guys do for fun around here? Or you've got a lot of kids. We've got a lot of kids too. What do you guys like to do in the summer for fun? Just something to open that up. And then M is kind of like motivation, like always looking for their motivation. And then C is just common ground, like where that connection would be for you. And just really having fun and adding value to people's lives. And guys, I will tell you that, every connection you make, it doesn't have to always start out with an Isagenix connection. Really, if you can take that monkey off your back, and just like Rachel said, when she started, she's connected with people beautifully for 29 years, and now all of a sudden she's doing Isagenix and it feels weird. Don't make it weird. Just do what you do. Go out every day to be a blessing, to invest yourself in people's lives, to add value. People are having a hard time. Just looking someone in the eyes and smiling at them, giving them a genuine compliment, engaging them in conversation, rescuing a little mom that just spilled the coffee all over the floor and her kids are crying and she just feels so uncertain and stressed. Just be a great person and care about people. And our pastor Ken used to say this, and he was talking about the Lord, the Holy Spirit, but it's the same, I think, with Isagenix, that we are going to minister to people out of the overflow of our lives. When you're filled up every single day with just you're building your belief, and you're using these products and you feel fantastic, you're a product of the product, and you're helping people get healthy and well, and you're just doing great things, and you're filling yourself with a lot of positive stuff, all of that is just naturally going to come out of you and just spill into the people's lives that you're around. And that's what you want. You want it to be just organic and genuine and authentic. But in conjunction with that, have a few things that you say that are comfortable and totally natural, and let yourself find those things out. Don't be paralyzed by always having to be perfect. I heard a great quote today by John Maxwell. I was listening to him in the car, and it's actually Robert Schuller, but he said, "What would you attempt to do if you knew that you could and would not fail?" And then he said, if you want to really grow, you need to get over any fear that you have of making mistakes. You're not making mistakes. You're making a life. You're building a future. It's worth it. This journey that we're on with Isagenix is all about who you become in the process. It's not just about being a great connector so that you can build a business and share Isagenix. It's about being an amazing person that loves other people, that has a heart of a servant and cares for people so that you can grow an incredible network of people that you're serving and loving and empowering. It's who you become in the journey. true wealth, I believe, is measured in rich relationships and a beautiful life that's filled with joy and opportunity and possibility, but not dependent upon your circumstances. And if things are going good today, then I'm happy. If I'm having a hard day, I'm sad. It doesn't need to be dependent on those things. Joy is a fruit of God's Spirit in our lives. It should be a foundation of who we are because of what we're becoming in the process. So if we can keep our heart and our mind focused in that area, there will be no limit to the people that you will draw and attract into your life. And you will make such a huge impact in so many beautiful ways, so far beyond just health and wealth. And that's really what we want to do on this team. We want to empower you to live a rich, full life that is just overflowing with beauty and possibility and freedom. So,
I love it.
yeah.
Oh, I feel like we just once a month should just have a call where Cindy just talks. Just talks and motivates and uplifts, and it's amazing. So I want to do actually a quick exercise. I just was thinking about it as I'm seeing all your faces, and I thought this would be kind of a cool way for you to really bring it home. So when you're thinking about connecting with people, look at all the faces on this call right now. And we're going to go through and we're going to tell you all how we initially connected with all these people, because it's not the same. And a lot of these people we didn't know before Isagenix, which is so cool. And so I'm looking, and I just texted Amanda. She has to hop on another call. But so Amanda and I connected when we were 13. We were very awkward. We had very bad haircuts. We both wore tracksuits. I mean, it was bad. But we met on a trip to Europe for a bunch of nerdy kids. It's a student ambassador program. We got selected because we were really good at school, and we went to Europe, and it was so much fun. Fast forward 18 years, and now we're building this amazing business together after she said no to me for over a year. So again, really bizarre connection, initially connected internationally and whatever. So then I look at my friend Maddie. Maddie and I used to work together at NAU, and that was 6 years ago. I think I've known Maddie longer than I've known Jeff. So 6 years, but we stayed connected on Facebook, but we didn't actually have a solid relationship from the time that I graduated and moved on. We just were connected on Facebook, talked once in a while, and then I posted something last fall, and he was like, hey, I need this, whatever it is, let's go. And now Maddie and I talk all the time. He can't get rid of me. Okay. And then I look at Della, Mama Della and Baby Della. Della, our husbands knew each other before Della and I knew each other. Okay. You guys never know. Deb, same thing. Our husbands knew each other before Deb and I knew each other. We met when the men's mentor group met for dinner and brought all the wives, and we connected. We connected because we have the same weird thumbs. That's how we connected. And Deb was with another network marketing company, and just in the last few months is like, okay, I'm ready to make a home with you in Isagenix. And it started with that. You never know, okay? And then Tierney and Julian. Mike, how did you meet Julian?
Julian was playing AAU ball with Ben, I think. That's how maybe his brother Carl was, and then I met Julian through Carl. So known them since he was, well, he's never really been little, but since he was a little smaller, not quite as buff.
Yeah.
And I just kept seeing him at the gym, and we connected, and he asked what I was doing, and so your internet connection is unstable. Oh, sorry. Just read that across my screen. Thought you were texting me something.
No, that's all you. But that's, you guys see how that works? Okay, Jacqueline's actually one of my favorite ones because this is so weird. But Jacqueline and I have a mutual friend. Her name's Kelsey, and she's beautiful. Kelsey and I had babies 3 days apart. Kelsey approached me in the gym locker room because we were both very pregnant. She's like, and I had literally just got done working out with Julian. And she's like, hey, I saw you working out. Like, can you help me with some pregnancy-friendly workouts? You look so great, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, let's grab coffee. I'll tell you all about it. Kelsey, not so interested in Isagenix. But I met Jacqueline at Kelsey's baby shower because Jacqueline hosted it. And then Jacqueline and Calvin lived in Kelsey's basement in one of their transitions. And Calvin emerged from the dark kitchen hair. It was scary. And then we went on a marriage retreat in January and sat at the same table as them, didn't even know they were going to be there. And I'm like, don't I know you from somewhere? And 3 days later, she texted me, and all she said, we'd had each other's numbers for like 3 days. First text she ever sends me. Hey, tell me about this isogenics thing. Like, you guys never know, okay? So go out and connect with everybody, because you never know who the random person hosting a baby shower that you're going to run into a year later, almost a year later, is going to want to build a business with you. Or the RA that you worked with at a college in another state in a different building. Maddie and I weren't even on the same staff. We just were friends because he's awesome and I'm awesome. And now we're awesome building isogenics together. Like, you guys never know. Okay, I'm pretty sure Amanda and Cherie met playing football together. Is that right, Cherie? You guys were playing for the Mist? Anyways, you never know. Linda, I mean, you know, Amanda's almost basic mother-in-law, so kind of like by default. Way to go, Linda. But amazing, you guys, absolutely amazing. Lori, I don't even know how you and I mean, I know you were already in isogenics, but I don't even remember how you and I, was it Power Hour?
I think I saw your post about 20 and 30 and empowered to lead. And I'm like, yeah, count me in. And then, yeah, Power Hour. And I knew Cindy from Calvary days.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, you guys, so you never know. Your church, your gym, your school, your job. Just connect with everybody, because you never know when it's going to come back later. Like, I'm looking at all these people now, and Jacqueline and I have known each other for a year. Maddie, 6 years. Deb, 4 years. Who else? All my things are shifting. Della, like 2 years. Amanda, 18 years. You never know. Mike and Cindy have known Julian since he was smaller, younger, playing high school football with other kids. Yeah. Okay. Have I driven this home enough yet, you guys? Okay.
Driven it home.
Driven at home. Connect with everybody, because you never know. It's amazing. Okay. And then, Deb, you had asked about the what do you do. So that's the same thing that we got at University in Action. That's the template that came in that workbook. It's also an Empowered to Lead to that workbook there. Is that what you were talking about?
No, I just liked what Mike said.
Oh, his specific example? Like, can you repeat that when people ask you, like, what do you do?
No, because I say it different every single time.
I know.
Well, you said
I mean, I'm pretty bold, but because I'll say something like, I help people. I mean, I said this just the other day. I help people create multiple streams of income and get insanely fit. They're like, what? What are you talking about? I just like to create curiosity. I like to kind of take people out of the box that they want to put people in, and they're like, what is that? I see that finger. I can see that. So, but it really depends on who I'm talking to. And a lot of times I'll just say, I have a couple businesses, and they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, I have a nutrition business and I do real estate. And they're like, how do you end up doing that? And then I go into my story. So it changes all the time. I mean, I talk to a lot of young people, and I found, like, almost without exception, that they're looking for streams of income. They might not even know what streams of income are, but but then I talk about it. So that's how I'm talking so much about the business, just because that seems to be what everybody's resonating with.
Okay.
It's different every time. Sorry.
All right, you guys. So connecting, just go do it. Okay. Even if you feel like you're going to be crappy at it for a little while, that won't be forever. Just connect with people, because it's in you to do it. You know how to connect with another human being. You know how you would want someone to connect with you when you're having a crappy day or when you're having a good day. All right. And I love what Cindy said. Fill your cup so full that you have to pour out on other people. That's honestly, I think, why I was able to recognize that mom needed help today, and that I just was aware, because my day literally started exactly how I wanted it to. I got up before my kids. I went to the gym. All I had by the time I got to Target was isogenics in my body. I was feeling pumped. And then, boom, drops the coffee. Like, it's so true how that stuff works. So just go out and live life. Don't overthink it, because then you're going to be a weirdo, and no one wants to talk to a weirdo. Okay?
Rachel, one more thing.
Yeah.
The company has announced that they're going to be doing something, and we don't even know what it is. But they said basically you need to be filling your pipeline now. So having conversations, talking to people, if you're tempted now that the weather's starting to get nice to just lay by the pool or just take it easy for a while because, summer's coming up, don't do it. I don't know what's coming up, but they said it's big. So I would be having your conversations, getting people in, at all levels of interest right now, because there's something big coming down the line. So
yeah, June 1st, you guys. That's not that far away. That's in 9-10 days. June 1st. It's on a Thursday, I think. Look it up. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that we can finish up with the challenge. But it was so great chatting with you all today about connecting. Oh, no, don't end the meeting. Stop the recording.